Chapter 33 Rudra's Storm. "Hey Dionysus, don't leave," said Jane. I wasn't bailing, but it was time to flow. Like a hawk with giant wings flapping, I flew between the trees, weaving in places where no embodied creature could go. Circling back to the black cat, my body existed in a medium that could be rearranged. I was hidden within the wind, and so I gathered all the pressure in the atmosphere to carry me right in front of Jane. "Look, I'm not Dionysus, but I know him, and he can explain." Jane tilted her head at me and spoke. "But my guardian angel says you're Dionysus. See, there's an invisible feline whispering in my ear. She's the embodiment of fire, and she keeps telling me that you're Dionysus, that wild soothsayer," she said. "Come on and follow me. We'll sort this out. I came with a woman from a higher dimension, and she's guiding me on the proper route." Jane followed me as we ran between the leaves toward the pyramid's peak above the trees. I could feel every aspect of life within this forest, and now many birds came to fly within me. Looking to that high temple, I saw 4 grand sides built high into the sky. This was the Queen's temple, and there the goddess was waiting for me as she glowed in the night because she was my invisible bride. That woman was something I could not explain, as she was a mysterious wonder. Sometimes she was dark, and other moments she was light, but I heard every time she called out from the thunder. Jane found the temple rather quick, and it seemed she had been here before. Both Otto and Manuka scratched the black cat's back, and even that man named Francis seemed to adore her. "Great goddess, I have a question. It seems everyone's got my name wrong. Can you tell them the truth, that my name was Levi all along?"
"Tatwamasi, thou art that,"
said my bride. "But my name is Levi. This is what I was called from the very start."
"And Dionysus is within your spirit. Christ lives within your very pure heart,"
said Maha Kali. None of the humans could hear her, but I sensed they were aware of her auspicious spark. Ever since the lightning struck the top of the pyramid, I'm certain our thunder made its mark. "See, I knew I'd find you, Dionysus. You're the man who already died. And remember, I'm your friend Jane? I'm the black cat that never lies," she said. "But you don't understand. You've got me confused with one of Artemis's brothers. Dionysus led me into the tree of life, but him and I are very different from one another."
"The light of Christ lives within all beings, as it is Osiris who was reborn after death. You are the fruit of the grapevine, and through union with the Absolute, you have become the essence of my breath,"
said Maha Kali. "Told you so. Tatwamasi, you're him," said the black cat. I still did not understand my bride. Was she the one who was half dark and half light? Or was she the dark force that summoned the lightning from the high heavens to wake everyone in the darkest parts of the night? And what are we here to do? Why have you led me back to this land?"
"I was banished from the Garden of Eden. That is until this journey began,"
said Maha Kali. "But I'm so confused."
"You're not confused enough,"
said Maha Kali. "What are you talking about?"
"You're caught in the illusion of all this earth stuff,"
she said. None of it made sense, and so I seemed to float away. Maha Kali watched everything I did, and I knew she could see all of life happening in the most peculiar ways. Everywhere I went, I was connected to her, as we were intertwined as one. She was the force within my spirit, and we were the radiance of the great eastern sun. Without words spoken, I felt her silence guide our essence through the air. Maha Kali was gentle and daring. She held me the same way that true lovers would care. Then she brought me to a second stone pyramid, and this one was not too different from where our lightning first struck. Many commoners, soldiers, and generals had gathered here. Now this was the king's temple, where a community of tents and people seemed to be stuck in a rut. I hovered above their tents as they hid from the rain, but I could feel the energy from their past, and this misplaced action drove Kali insane. Liars had taken control, and everywhere I went I felt the energy of dirty criminals motivated by greed. They abused the father's privilege for so long by taking far more than a single human could need. Peering into one tent, I saw a drunken man sleeping beside a young girl. Her eyes were wide open and terrified when my wind began to whirl. My awareness could peer into the past. There I saw everything this man had ever done, abusing young women just like her. His drunken cycles continued, and how dare he called her a loved one. My wind began to howl when I screamed through the land. I could see how this alcoholic beat many of his partners with his own 2 hands. He broke down doors and left burning cigarettes still steaming, beer cans as presents for his lovers, and so my storm began screaming. Floating around to other dwellings, the list of horror went on and on. This other pyramid is where the thieves and criminals hung out. It's where the killers and war mongrels belonged. All these men and women had committed atrocities, and it was I who was connected back to their hearts. I could see how they had forsaken the earth. They'd abused her land and tore the earth's body apart. I flew to another tent, where I could feel all the times this woman lied to her man. This was psychological abuse, and she was using this lover as her selfish escape plan. I could hear all those past whispers, where she covered up her fear in the sneakiest of fashion. She led him on with feelings of love, but never gave him an ounce of compassion. Oh, look at this mess. How have these leaders allowed these souls to rot and die? Now I grew so angry the more I hung around them, and now I exploded high into the sky, throwing bolts of lightning upon them. I let my rage be known. They poisoned the earth, and I wanted to destroy all the human cancer so that new life could be grown. With winds so wicked, I tore apart their tents, ripping away whatever they cherished. It was time to meet justice for all the past torment. Now these people were screaming, running away to hide from the fear, but someone was calling out in the storm, and Maha was the only voice I could hear. Now what was I hearing? Yes, I could hear a voice talking. Someone was following me, but where was this creature stalking? High in the heavens, someone was speaking from along the tree of life. I recognized that someone was trying to get my attention, and so we spoke of love and devotion to make all things right. But my storm was too loud, this force of nature too great, and I couldn't hear the motive behind his words, and so I grew so cold that I wanted to freeze this entire human estate. The bodies may die, but that cold chill should remind them to start the fire within their hearts. Call this a fallen angel's dharmic anger, because Maha Kali is ready for a fresh start. And for a moment the storm paused, and I felt their hearts start to ease. There was a moment of silence before the goddess conjured the mightiest wind on earth and yelled,
"Don't fuck with me, Tatwamasi,"
said Maha Kali. They have cut down the sacred forests, they have polluted the purest seas. I am one with these people, and so I carry this judgment upon earth in honor of Maha Kali.
"Tatwamasi,"
said Maha Kali. These people have raped our youth, they have abused the holiest creed. I see through to the depths of these people's souls, and now they should know that no one fucks with Maha Kali.
"Tatwamasi,"
said Maha Kali. Their sins are beyond measure. They cage the creatures that are meant to be freed. They have disrespected the tree of life, and they should have remembered that no one fucks with Maha Kali.
"Tatwamasi,"
said Maha Kali.
They crucify their prophets, then the church edits and rewrites the sacred creed. Meanwhile, the light of Christ is within every living thing, and now every church will answer to Maha Kali. They kill their truth seekers, and they control the people with systems built on arrogance and lies. Don't they know God is watching? And so they are clueless as to who greets them after the body dies. For centuries they repeat their mistakes, as only men can run the churches while their egos dominate the land. These greedy capitalists think they're in control, yet not a single one of these ignorant men actually understand. Then their doctors sell out, providing legal meth called Adderall to fuel the workforce. Meanwhile, native plants are illegal, and so the fuckery of idiotic laws continue to be enforced. Big Pharma drugs my family and friends. Oh, I'll light that fire that burns them to the ground. They gave up on the health of our brothers and sisters as soon as the bribes and corruption came around. Who else has had enough? Who else is ready for change? The time of masculine domination is over, and so comes the balance of the masculine and feminine age. Let us show them the pure way, even if we must trample over their church. I am so sick of their hypocrisy and bullshit. We will not stop until they recognize God's cathedral as my bride called Earth.
Tatwamasi,
said Mahakali. They will know this as judgment, and it comes to every single one of thee. No one can escape the truth, and that truth is Mahakali.
Tatwamasi, only I can set these people free. Now do tell, who is this fearless soul that stands in union with me?
Said Mahakali. I am God's brave warrior. I am the devil's only friend. I am the last buffalo that wasn't slaughtered by the trespassers. I am the morning star and the bringer of the end. The storm was growing so fierce that when I looked up to the stars, there I saw Rudra's red eye named Beetlejuice. Then it winked at me from afar.